After transiting from one train to another twice, once I got off at Arumi Station, I knew the way. Because only 2 weeks ago, Setsuna was here. Let's go home. It's cold out here. Let's at least go somewhere warm. Don't you feel under the weather? Setsuna's face was white as snow. Normally, I would put my hand against her forehead against her will and measure her temperature. That's just how worried I would be.
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
I see. But I threw away the right to touch Setsuna by my own will.
There was no point in running away.
What?
In the end, I only made you worry, Haruki-kun. I got in the way of Kazusa's concert. It all came to nothing.
Came to nothing?
It means when something that you worked hard on is undone.
I wasn't asking for a definition.
I'm always like this. I try to make things better, but only end up making things worse. It's really no wonder things turned out this way.
Setsuna.
Saying that I wasn't thinking is really nothing but an excuse. I'm really stupid. I know.
Like I said, what are you...
No, I was purposely trying to avoid thinking about things turning out this way. After all, I'm filthy.
I didn't understand what Setsuna was talking about. The words that Kazusa told me creep up in my consciousness, saying, I broke her.
Tell me, Haruki-kun.
Yet the expression on her face and her words sounded normal, just like the usual, kind Setsuna I've come to know.
I'm sorry, but I'm fine now.
She was still the woman I knew better than anyone else. Were you looking at the sea all this time?
When I left Kazusa, I couldn't bring myself to return. Not to my hotel, not home. So I asked myself where I wanted to go.
And that thought led you here?
This wasn't the only place that came to mind. I thought of a lot of places.
I see.
For example, the park near my house. The place where you saw the real me. So, you knew about it all along? This side of me? You've known about me for so long, Kitaharu-kun.
That was where I got to know Setsuna for the first time. The place where I met her in her casual wear. The school idol who would work part-time in disguise. The school idol who would complain about things that were her own fault. The school idol who would worry about her hungry brother waiting for her to return for dinner.
The karaoke bar in Minami Suetsugo, where I went on a date with a boy for the first time. Hey, Kitaharu-kun, with this, Okuso Setsuna's last secret has been revealed. You've just learned all about me.
An idol whose inconsiderateness when it concerned singing almost made me flinch. Singing for as long as the reserved time would allow, and even picking a song right before the time was up, just to sing for a few extra minutes. And when I looked at her dumbfounded, she teasingly stuck out her tongue at me. No longer did I see her as an idol, but as a girl by the name of Ogiso Setsuna.
I thought of many other places too. Kazusa's house, the school. Did you know today is the graduation ceremony?
Oh, was that today?
So many places come to mind. All the roads I walked with you. All the places I visited with you.
All of those are places we made memories in together. And places where memories of the three of us rested.
But why? I wonder why.
And out of all those places, she chose.
Before I realized it, I was here.
This place was indeed a place of many memories for Setsuna and me. It was, but
It's strange, isn't it? There are still so many other fun places. The amusement park, the zoo, the cinema. Memories of us laughing together, loving each other, are imprinted on so many other places too. Yet, no matter what, I came to this place. It feels like everything was overridden. Don't you agree? It feels like this is the only place our memories together still remain as the place we broke up. When I'm here, I recall that day.
this is the place of our most recent memory, and the place of our saddest memory.
It happened just the other day, yet it feels like ages ago. It actually happened, yet I remember it like some bad dream. No, perhaps that's just what I want it to be.
Why this place, Setsuna?
So, it's really painful and sad. I feel like I'm about to lose myself. No, I think I've already begun to lose my mind.
Let's go home already.
So, I thought to myself that none of it mattered. That everything is just too much trouble. That I don't want to see anybody. That I want to be alone.
You're only thinking that because you're in this freezing cold. It's because you're in this awful, cold place. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Hey, Haruki-kun,
Yeah?
it's been 5 years.
It has.
For 3 years, we kept missing one another. For 2 years, we were in each other's arms.
I'm sorry for those 3 years, and I'm grateful for those 2 years.
We piled up a hill of so much happiness and so much sadness.
You're right.
We are bound in both body and soul. It can't be torn off now, after all this time.
Our history together, that cannot be surpassed by anyone.
I wouldn't be myself anymore if I let that bond be torn off.
Setsuna,
What about you? can you say you're truly Kirahara Haruki if you tear off that bond?
You're mistaken.
Will you be able to remain yourself?
Right now, I'm not the Kirahara Haruki you see.
Was I that ineffective at leaving an impression on you? Was our bond so fragile that you could just tear it off like that?
5 years ago, I chose Kazusa, not you. I'm the Kirahara Haruki from a different history. A me that you don't know anymore, Setsuna.
Tell me, Haruki-kun. Haruki-kun.
I'm hit by her questions like a blade piercing my chest, and I bear it in silence. Because if I let the thoughts I keep repressed gush out, my terrible resolve will be for nothing. But neither am I strong nor correct enough to coldly deflect her questions in order to protect that resolve. And as a result, I continue leaving Setsuna in a state of uncertainty in the most despicable act.
Just kidding.
Setsuna? And then, after letting herself be swept away by her emotions, she speaks in a light voice. And then she takes a deep breath, calms herself down, closes her eyes, and stops her tears.
I'm overwhelmed by so much sadness, and yet...
And a few seconds later, when Setsuna spoke again,
I feel a sadness like the whole world is ending. I feel like I'm losing something just as important as the whole world.
her voice was shaking, but just barely.
Even so, I turned on my phone earlier, and I called my family.
I could feel a hint of anger and irritation, and the slightest bit of relief in her voice.
My mom was crying. My dad was happy about my well-being like it was his own. And they told me that Takehiro had been out looking for me all night.
I did everything in my power to hide my relief at those words, to hide the smile that was creeping up on me. Even if I am happy, I have long since given up the right to show her that.
I'm sorry, Haruki-kun. No, perhaps this has nothing to do with you anymore.
It has everything to do with me.
Remember what I told you? That I was going to abandon Japan and follow you two along? That I was prepared to do even that?
About that.
But that was a lie. I can't bring myself to cease being a child of the Ogaso family. I can't bring myself to stop being Japanese.
Oh, I wanted to nod with every fiber of my being. Even if I no longer had the right, I didn't want to think that this had nothing to do with me. I only wanted to one-sidedly let out my thoughts, only to have her watch as I try to stop myself from saying too much.
At the very end, I never broke completely. I couldn't obsess about you to that degree.
Because she wouldn't be Setsuna otherwise.
I feel so much sadness, and I feel like my heart is about to burst open.
She wouldn't stray away from rationality and intuition.
But I thought about it. That my mom, dad, and Takehiro were worried about me.
Always adhering to both those things, and always wavering.
I thought of how Io, Takia-kun, and Tomo were probably looking for me. I thought of the people at work who tried to contact me but received no answer.
Always compromising. Always naturally finding the balance.
That's what I thought about.
That's the kind of girl Ogaso Setsuna was. The girl I loved.
I couldn't bring myself to throw everything away and decide that none of it matters anymore.
I loved her so deeply because that was the kind of girl she was. I loved her more than anything.
What's the matter with me, I wonder? It was pointless. Even when you abandoned me, I couldn't separate myself from the world.
It wasn't pointless at all. It was just like you to draw that conclusion, and it was the correct choice.
So, in the end, I couldn't win against Kazusa. I couldn't surpass Kazusa, who is capable of throwing everything away for your sake, Haruki-kun.
But unable to tell her that, I simply hang my head.
As I thought, my feelings aren't as powerful as Kazusa's. I wasn't that serious about you.
One after another, her words enter my head, and one after another, they wreak havoc. Because I was the one who rejected Setsuna's feelings. I'm the one who tore the thread that bound us together apart.
Apologize to Kazusa for me?
For what?
Tell her I'm sorry for getting in the way of her concert again.
By now, the concert should be in its final stage. I won't make it in time, even if I leave right now. Just like that night in Osaka.
This is the second time I've lured you away from Kazusa, even though this day was so important to you two.
Just like on that day that marked the very beginning of the end, where something important had to be destroyed for the sake of recovering another.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. On top of saying such cruel things to Kazusa,
It's fine.
Huh?
Setsuna's apology came from a one-sided interpretation, one that is exactly like her to make. We promised that she would play, that she would show the audience the best she's got, even if I'm not watching her. Even so, I answer her words with a complete lie. As I looked down on my phone and read the text that just arrived.
I'll play. I'll show you I can. As long as you're by my side, I won't be afraid of anything.
Yeah, I'm counting on you.
So, be there to watch over me for the concert and all the other times too. Haruki?
Yeah, I'll watch over you. But that doesn't mean I'll always be there by your side.
Huh?
I'll be living for your sake from now on. All so you can still find the strength to smile and be happy in that tiny world of yours, even as you've cut yourself off from everything.
Don't tell me you're not coming?
I'll go. I promise I'll go. Didn't I just say that?
But you just said you wouldn't be there by my side.
Don't interpret things in the worst possible way. I meant that there might be times like that in the future. Not tomorrow.
And when would that be?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It could be tomorrow. It could be a year from now. It might not even happen at all.
But aren't you going to protect me from now on? Aren't you always going to be by my side?
Yeah, I'll always protect you. I already vowed to that when I decided to pick Kazusa. But there might be times where protecting you and being with you aren't the same thing. And during times like that, I'll prioritize protecting you. And so I made another vow to never do anything that would get in the way of protecting her.
What's that supposed to mean?
There might be times when I'll have to be away for the sake of protecting you. From now on, there will be times like that.
Again, what's that supposed to mean?
I already told you, I don't know. I can't predict the future, you know. It might have been me being overly cautious and bringing up something with only the slightest possibility. Hey, Kazusa, from now on, my life will be dedicated to you. Dedicated to living with you. But if there's something more important than being with you to make you happy, I might not be with you then.
Like I said, why would that happen? Where would you be if not with me?
I would be off working for you. I might be distancing myself for your sake. I might even be out there fighting for you. Or perhaps I had a premonition something was about to happen. So I want you to trust me when that happens. That my absence is for your sake. That it's the best outcome for you. That I'm not with you at that time.
Haruki.
But my heart will always be with you. Even if I'm not physically there, we'll always be connected. Trust me already, would you?
Haruki.
So you can stop worrying about that. Just be there and shine. Make a legend of yourself.
Okay.
Also, don't ever think of protecting me or sacrificing yourself for my sake again. It's nothing but a bother to me.
A bother? Hey.
You're incapable of anything anyway, other than grinning as you play your piano. You don't have the ability to save me.
Doesn't that mean I'm completely useless?
Be useless for my sake. Be my reason to work as hard as I can.
Idiot. You idiot. You idiot.
The sound of Kazusa crying, along with her tears, leave a wet stain on my chest and become my strength. Something that is absolutely no use to Kazusa, yet gives me powerful energy.
Haruki.
love you. I love you.
Those tears and that piano of hers, and that smile she shows ever so rarely.
Hey, Haruki. I might be unable to do anything but play the piano from now on. Actually, that's probably most likely.
You're saying that now?
I'm not good with money. I can't do chores. I might not even be able to make any money with my piano. I might be doing nothing but making your life a living hell.
I've taken that into account ages ago.
You'll push yourself to the limit for my sake, ruin your health, and maybe even end up dying young.
Hey, keep saying things like that and I actually might.
However, if there's one thing I can take for certain, it's this. If you die, I'll follow you right after.
Moron, you're awfully bold for someone who hasn't even lived half her life.
And you can say whatever you want. I'll do everything I can to make something of myself. And if you think you can stop me, I dare you to try.
Just so you know, I won't follow you. If you were to die before I do, I'll just go on through the pain and continue living out my life.
Yes, I want you to do that. You'll be free from me then, and you'll be able to relax. Then you can live for as long as you want.
You don't have to tell me that.
And if something like that were to ever happen, go and make up with Setsuna. If I'm dead, I'll allow it. You can go back to Setsuna then.
You are an absolute moron, you know? You really think Setsuna would be okay with that?
You know, there was a different path, a happier path we could have taken.
Go to sleep already. It's beginning to get bright outside.
Setsuna would be there, crying in front of the altar. You'd get embarrassed, and I'd be there playing the organ.
I'm going to sleep.
That future would have been the happiest future for the three of us. Only if we could have managed to keep the balance between us.
Good night.
Good night, Haruki.
This is... I don't think I've seen such a positive reaction since your own performance after your tour abroad.
What spell did you put on our guitar-kun?
I see.
It was a massive success, you bastard.
The text contained only one sentence, but to us, it conveyed countless feelings.
Oh, nice. I should have known she'd pull it off.
And Setsuna,
I get it. She's capable of anything for her dear Haruki-kun.
she smiled as she looked like she was being torn to pieces by a blade. A blade born from the words, actions, and the bond between Kazusa and me.
It's just like 5 years ago. No matter how much I tried to get in the way, nothing changed.
With that very same strength that I loved her for, she takes a step away from me.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. Right, then I'll leave you in Kazusa's care.
Sublimely beautiful. And in my eyes, she wore a smile that could tear herself apart.
Just kidding. I was the one who stole you in the first place. I'm the one being unreasonable.
That's not...
Let me rephrase it. I'm sorry, Kazusa. I borrowed Haruki-kun for far too long. But now, I'll give him back to you.
I shouldn't be feeling so much pain. I shouldn't reach out my hand to her. Yet, Setsuna looks so peaceful and as kind as a saint.
Congratulations, Kazusa. I'm glad your concert turned out well. Perhaps what I did paid off in the end. Perhaps it wasn't all for nothing.
Setsuna? It lasted for only a fleeting moment.
I'm so glad I didn't get in your way. I'm so glad. I'm so glad no one found out. Not Kazusa, not Haruki-kun, not anyone.
Are you okay?
Hey, hang in there.
Can you see me? Do you understand me?
Where is this?
Don't try to stand up. Lay down. Someone, call an ambulance.
No, wait, this isn't. The traffic light was green. This person came out of nowhere.
That doesn't matter right now. Call an ambulance already.
Right away.
That's not necessary. I'm perfectly.
Don't argue with me and stay down. We'll go to the hospital and we'll see if it's anything serious, okay?
Hospital?
Can you recall the number to your family? Or perhaps your friends? Your place of work?
No, you can't.
I can't. You must still be very confused.
I'm not. It's not that big of a deal. Don't contact anyone.
Wait a sec. You shouldn't be standing up.
Ow.
Look, I'm sure you have a concussion. For now, you should...
I'm really grateful, but I'm fine. Look, I'm not even bleeding.
What if you have internal bleeding? Stay still until the ambulance arrives. No ambulance! I absolutely won't accept it. Calm down. Don't struggle.
No one can know about this. Tomorrow is the day of Kazusa's concert. But this, if my family or friends find out about this, so will she.
Listen, calm down. Why are you running?
They cannot find out. Not Kazusa, not Haruki-kun, never.
Stop. You shouldn't be running. Come back here.
Setsuna?
Sorry, I spaced out for a bit.
With a fleeting smile, she closed her eyes, and for a few dozen seconds, almost as if she fell asleep on the spot, she completely lost touch with the outside world. Perhaps you really are cold.
I'm not cold. I'm not cold. That's just not it at all. But you're right. There is no point in being here anymore. We're finished with our conversation, after all.
And once she came back to her senses, she acted like nothing had happened.
You can go home now. You can go back to Kazusa.
She begins our checkout from this place. You too, Setsuna.
I'll stay here for a short while longer.
You can't. Not in this cold. If walking is too difficult for you, I'll call you a taxi.
That's not what I meant. I actually got a taxi from my mom. They're coming to pick me up by car soon.
I see.
Don't you agree that it's just like my family to do that?
It really is. I always liked that about them. I long admired the family that had what I did not.
They should be here soon. If you stay any longer, you'll have to face my dad, you know? That would be painful for you, wouldn't it?
Setsuna.
So, we should say our goodbyes here, okay?
Setsuna. That's right. I no longer have the right to grab her hand.
I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. I have everyone else, after all. Family, friends, co-workers. They all support me. They protect me. So, no matter how badly I get hurt, I'll heal in time.
In the true sense of the word, I have given back Setsuna to those who love her, to those she needs.
Goodbye then, Haruki-kun.
Yeah, I no longer have anything to do with Setsuna.
Have a good life.
As I'm only a few steps away from the station, it started falling. The curtain of white that always appeared during the crossroads of our lives. Snow that only ever fell during times of hardship and sorrow. A white, transient, and a kind, yet still relentless cold. Setsuna said. She said that she'd be fine. But right now, she's going up against not just the powerful sea breeze, but also against the enveloping snow. That's right, my coat. It probably won't be much more than putting a band-aid on a large wound, but if I can do something for her, even in the slightest way, then I'll... How many times do I have to go back and forth about this? I can no longer be with Setsuna. That's what she herself has said to me. Sure enough, it started falling. Just as it fell on the day I had to sacrifice the most precious thing to me in order to obtain something just as precious. It fell as if to wash away my sins, almost as if trying to shroud away my memories in a thick layer of snow. The snow scatters from above. Setsuna. Be happy. Find happiness, Setsuna. It's the greatest wish I'll ever have in my life. I can only regret that I'm no longer the one who can make that happen. Even so, I'll still be praying forever and ever. that if you were to stumble upon hard times, or if you were to ever find yourself in sorrow, that you'll remember me, that you'll hate me and resent me as much as you can. I want you to use that anger and turn it into strength. Strength that can help you get back up on your feet again. I want you to work towards a path to a world where your heart rejects me. A world where you'll think nothing of my absence. So please, please, hate me. Hate me for all time. And surround yourself in a new, warmer happiness. And maybe someday forget about me. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. At least Setsuna is safe. I was worried she was in a car accident and was in a hospital somewhere. And the kids are growing up. They actually talked about if he missed a concert. Granted, I was expecting he'd just poked his head into the dressing room and said, "Setsuna is missing. I'm going to go help find her." But thinking about that now, that could also have distracted Kazusa. All in all, I'm glad everyone's physically okay. Though, the breakup has finally officially happened, and Setsuna might be going to pieces here.